Hello, hello, hello. I think I'm sitting on something that's turned on. Hold on just a second. Oh my goodness. I'm sitting on something that's making the TV go on. Hold on just a second. Sorry. Sorry about that. I was sitting on the remote and all of a sudden the TV went on and it got real loud and I was like, "What the heck?" I was sitting on the remote. But oh my goodness. You guys saw the you saw the title. I am living with a beast. But I will let you know more about that in a minute. But let's greet everyone. Hey, Marta, first one in the house. If you guys can hear me and your sound is good, I don't need to make any adjustments. Give me a thumbs up so I will know that. Let me back up here a little bit. Okay, sorry. So that I will know that you can hear me and my volume's good and oops, and everything is okay. Hey, Sheila, we just spoke the other day, or was it last night? I think. Uh, Vaughn's in the house. Oh my goodness. Who else is here? Nora, another one of my fabulous moderators. I got Martin in the house. Vaughn's in the house. Nora's in the house. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. It is more than I bargained for. I do have a tendency, sometimes I must admit, to bite off more than I can chew. And I'm going to be the first one to admit that this is one of those times. And I froze for a second. Did I freeze on any of you guys? Also, I want to let you know so many of you were annoyed and getting all kinds of ads and stuff last time. So I went in and to YouTube Studio and you can turn it off so you don't earn revenue on live. So I went in and I turned it off. So that's the case. So you should not be getting any ads. What I may do is after the live is over, I may turn the ads back on. So if anyone happens to pop on and watch the replay, they may get some ads, but you should not get any ads while it's going because there was a way I can go in and manually turn them off. I haven't had complaints before about ads, so I never worried about it. But let me know if any of you are getting ads still or any problems, but that should not be the case. Who else is in the house? Hey, Caroline, Hannah, hello. Hi, Liza, how's it going? I'm trying to see anyone else I haven't said hello to. Jackie, hey, Jackie, are you up in Oregon yesterday? Are you, yet rather? Are you still in California? Jojo's in the house. Hey, Jojo. Nora says maybe he needs to go horse training instead of dog training. Woo, buddy. But I've been working with someone with him, and he is now. And I got a collar. It's not one of those metal ones with prongs, but it's a plastic one that he really minds better with this collar. So I'm working with him, and I'll tell you, the trainer, she said, well, he'll work better if you go away and come back after we're done. Because when I was standing there, he kept pulling her, trying to get to me, and he couldn't focus on anything she was trying to train. So she said, why don't you go over there so he can't see you and let me just work with him? So I did, and I couldn't believe it. She would, with me, he's jumping all over me. He's, turning flips, doing everything. I tell him to sit. He won't sit. I try and push him down. I mean, with all my strength. And he's like standing there like, I'm not going to sit. And I mean, even when I'm pushing on his backside with all my strength, he's bracing himself because he's just refusing to sit. And I'll tell him to stay. That was like a joke. I say, now stay. And I go to move and he's all over running. I came back. She told him sit. He sat just like that. She told him down. She told him stay, and she dropped the leash and backed up about 10 feet, and he just stayed there looking at her. I was like, what the heck? And she said, he thinks he's the boss over you, so you have to establish that you are his boss. He's not your boss, because right now he's bossing you. So anyhow, I've got to learn how to be the boss over a dog. Can you imagine? A dog, a little puppy, well, not little anymore, but a big puppy is bossing me. But I got to get him under control because the other day I was standing still and he came racing by and jumped on me and knocked me sideways. And if I hadn't caught on it to a chair, a picnic chair, I would have gone down. And he's going to maybe double in size. So I've got to get him under control or he's going to be knocking me all over the place, pulling me downstairs everywhere else. So yeah, so anyhow, I'll give you a little more on that later. But Sheila says horse training can be just as difficult sometimes. I rode equestrian for years. Okay. Nora says she was kidding. Yeah, because he's so big. But the trainer took him to, did an agility yard with him, and he just, we go through. I'm telling you, I'm spending more time, money, and effort on this dog than I have done on all the dogs in my life combined before him. And so he goes to this puppy class to get socialized because he's barking and growling at everything moving. And they have this agility thing, and the other puppies were kind of scared to go over it or under it or through it. He's just he's going around it, jumping over the hurdles, going climbing up the ladder, going down. I mean, it was unbelievable. And she said he could easily be an agility trained, but I don't have the time for that. But we'll see. I'll keep you guys going up to date on what's happening with the beast within. Oh my goodness. Hey, Possum Stops. Hello. Patty Wine. Hello, Patty from Missouri. Oh my goodness. Slowly moving into new house. Well, that is good. Glad to hear that. Hey, Iris, over 3 generations. Let me make sure I've said, hey, Marilyn. Blessed Saturday. The beast is so stinking cute. He is so cute. But now, I'll tell you what. Now, he is a dog after my own heart because I took him into Panera, right? He stayed under the table, laid down quiet in Panera for 2 hours. Do you believe that? 2 hours. I was like, okay, maybe, I'm a Panera girl. He's a Panera dog. Hey, and I was in there and this couple had this game called Rummy Cube or Rummy something. And so I was there with a friend and they asked us to join. And so it's a really fun game. You play with these little tiles and it reminds me just a little bit of dominoes, because you're trying to add on and stuff, but it's very fun. Have any of you ever played Rummy Cube? I think that's how you say it. But hey, I'm getting into some things with some expanding my horizons here. Who else is in the house? Did I say hi to Maggie? Hello, Maggie. um 3 Generation Iris says, thank you, Carol. I hate to complain about ads, but we miss what is being said for the duration of the ad. Yeah. So supposedly they are off because there's a little thing I can hit and it says ads off. So let me know if any of you are getting any ads still. Let me know because that should not be the case. In fact, I got my Panera right here. I got a free item, a coupon on my Panera today. So I thought I'd get my drink and another free item. I love FREE. Who else is in the house? Hey, Kenneth. Hello. You made it. I'm glad to see that you made it, Kenneth. Who else? Just want to make sure. Who else is here? Marilyn says, sounds like teenagers. Well, that's what they said. They said he's kind of an adolescent now, but he can go from a running, if he gets a good run and he can soar up and he can land on top of the picnic table. So he's a jumper, as you saw from the title. He's a jumper and a climber. And he, so I have to watch him because he goes what I call counter shopping. He will run by and he'll jump up on the counter looking to see what is there. And it's not just food. One thing he likes to take and run off with and try and destroy is the brush that I brush him with, because it has bristles on one side because its hair is kind of long. So I have to get through to make sure that there's no tangles and mats. And he does not like that. So any chance that he gets, he tries to grab that brush and chew it up. So I have to put the brush on a really high shelf that he can't reach. And I had it on a high rolling shelf outside, but he knocked that shelf over and got it and took off running. So, and he knows when he does something bad because he takes off running, and I have a bank and he tries to run up halfway to the bank, and I can't go up that bank. So I'm going to have to put some kind of wire or something up there, but then he could jump over the wire. I don't know. I mean, it's like he's always one step ahead of me, and I'm always like catching up to what he does next and then stopping it. It's, whew, I'm telling you. So I'm just hoping, although I ran into a guy the other day and he had this beautiful, it was a golden doodle. And he goes, "Oh, they're great dogs. You'll never be a better dog." I said, "But mine's really hyper." And he goes, "Yeah, mine was too." He said, "But they'll turn out to great dogs." And I asked him, "Well, how long does it take for that to kind of settle down?" You're not going to believe what he told me. He goes, "Oh, about 3 years." I said, 3 years? I'll be in an insane asylum within 3 years. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Anyhow, yeah, that's what he told me. Oh, about 3 years. Like that was like, oh yeah, it's worth it. Just wait 3 years and you'll have a great dog. I couldn't even talk to that man anymore after he said that. I didn't even want to talk to him anymore. Oh my goodness. Uh Hey Cheryl, hello. Cheryl is in the house. Oh my goodness. Uh uh who else? Uh Three Generations says my favorite drug trainer says you must be the leader of the pack. Yeah, well, we're fighting for dominance over here. Stay calm and assertive. Lord, we pray for Carol to find the strength and the patience. Whoo, I got a kid and a dog that have very similar personalities. I don't. Someone said something to me the other day, and I'm not going to repeat it, but I was like, yeah, I do tend to attract those types of situations. But anyhow, we'll see. We'll see. Sheila says he needs a job. He sounds like border collies. Yeah, I got to get him a job, but we'll see. But he's got to be able to pass the something. It's called some kind of good citizens test or something, and it's very strict. So it's going to take, they say, at least a year of training for him to be able to do that. And I've got to work with him every single day. I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyhow, hey, Muskegee Len, glad you're in the house. Oh my goodness. Uh, Everyone is saying hello to everyone. Um, I did go out and I looked at some property, and I want to, on one of these lives, see if I can't get the Wi-Fi going so I can take you out and show you the property that I really think is the one for me, but it's so far outside of my price realm. But I'm going to be talking to some city officials in the upcoming weeks, um, pursuing and learning about grants. So we'll see, working towards that. We'll see how it comes along. I did see another property, but I'm reluctant to. I'm looking at other properties, but I feel like if God's telling me this is the one, I feel like it's being disobedient to even look at other properties if I really believe this is what God is saying is mine. I have to just have enough faith, but we'll see. You know, what can I do? But I hope within the next week or two to get my Wi-Fi set up independently the hotspot and how I've got a new phone and I don't know really how to use it. I don't know how to work it, don't know how to anyhow, you know. So we'll see how that turns out. Um, Cheryl says pro bounce room uh, is like the cars. Oh, pronounce roomy cube. Roomy cube. Okay. It's like the cars game rummy with dice. I'm not sure. I don't know about that game. But roomy cube. Okay. I thought it was so much fun. A lot of fun. Not as much strategy in terms of like when you play spades or when you play bid whist or some of those, you kind of are keeping track of what cards other people have in their hands. This I didn't see where that was an issue or something to do, but maybe it is. But I just played the first time, so uh, I'm gonna be. I hear you can play online against the computer, so that might be a way to increase my skills. But I really roomy cube. Okay, roomy cube. All right, thank you for that, Cheryl. Um, Marilyn says, "Get the get the beast into dog competitions. Put that energy to good use." Well, the only thing is to go into. That's what the trainer said. She said he would do really well in agility dog competitions. But in order to put a dog into those kind of competitions, you really, really have to train that dog. And I don't mean training it in basic sit, stay, come, that kind of thing. I mean, you have to train it how to go that route and go that course on its own, and they're timed. I mean, it's a very time consuming, can be very expensive traveling to competitions. And honestly, I don't have the time to do that in my life right now, even though that is something she said he would be very good at doing. I just don't have the time, and I've got to my I really want my focus right now to be back on getting my channel going again, taking care and getting my daughter launched, and getting my tiny house community established before I leave this earth. Those are my three priorities. And I don't want to do anything that's going to take me away or diminish my ability to work on those three things. And those really are the three things right now that are high priorities for me. Um, uh, Three Generations says, good news is your pup will be a teenager at 2 years old. 2 years old? Iris, that's a year and a half away. that's a year and a half. That's like telling someone in the middle of the ocean with a piece of wood, well, someone's going to be by a ship's going to be coming by in 6 months. Just hold on for 6 more months out here in the ocean, and the ship will come by. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I must be the alpha, so we'll see. We'll see. He wants to dominate me. He wants to dominate Jess. He wants to dominate Cuddles. And Cuddles had been pretty chill, but Cuddles is now starting to say no, enough is enough. So we'll see. And I'm not going to get him neutered until he's at least a year because it impacts their growth and their longevity and all kinds of things. So I wonder how. I've heard that dogs that are not neutered sometimes attack dogs that are neutered. Sometimes male dogs that are neutered sometimes attack dogs that are neutered. That's why the trainer didn't want me to put him in a class with older dogs that are neutered, with him not being neutered. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm learning more than I ever wanted to learn about dogs. I'm tell you the truth. Cheryl says, the Lord gives us nothing we cannot handle. Well, I'm wondering if the Lord gave this to me or if this was my own doing. You're right. The Lord doesn't give us, but sometimes we go out and get stuff. But you know what? I just adore him. I have to admit that. I must admit, he is. I always have liked rebels, and people who kind of march to their own drum. But I never had to have one live in my home with me. I can admire them from a distance. Now so we'll see. We'll see. Hey, Mob Garden Oasis, how is it going? Oh my goodness. Uh, uh, if it's the one that I think, Cheryl, the training, it was in Texas, and that's out of the question. Doing training that's in Texas, if that's the one, because I've gotten several people sending me training things. If that was the one that you sent that was in Texas, I yeah, I can't do a training program out of Texas. Um, oh, all of your dogs earned their CGC. Wow. It's something good citizen. I forget what the first C is, but it's something and then good citizen. But I mean, they have to really be, I mean, they can't bark in public. They can't, uh, they can't scratch. They can't even scratch themselves in public. I mean, they have to be really, really, I mean, he's so far from that right now. It's not even funny. Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. Vaughn says my max is at least 10, and he's still constant shenanigans. Yeah, I can see Mowgli being shenanigans at 10. I could easily see that. Oh my goodness. Uh, I remind me Social Security. I wanted to talk to you all about Social Security just a little bit today. Um, Patty said Vaughn's my Dougie Springer is 10 and really calmed down. Yeah, well, 10. I'll probably be really calmed down in another 10 years. Good. I would be 83 in 10 years. Good gracious. Yeah, yeah. Are any of you at an age that your body is telling you one thing but your mind is not accepting it and saying, no, I'm not that, I'm this. No, that's not something I can't do. I can. Is your mind telling you you can do things that your body is saying, nah, that's probably not a good idea, but you still feel, because in my mind, I'm still a very young person. How about you guys? I'm really very young in my mind, and my mind does not match my body. So that's really a conflict that I'm having to constantly deal with. And I think that was one of the things that made me get a puppy, because my mind still says I'm a very young woman in my attitude, in my thinking, but not in my energy, not in my strength, and not in my body. How many of you have that conflict going on where you still are having a hard time coming to grips with the restraints or constraints that your body is telling you you need to listen to and start adopting, but you're having a hard time adopting those restraints and those limitations? I'm having a very hard time, if the truth be told, very hard time. um Cheryl says gin rummy but dice. Okay. For Rumi Q. um Thank you, Nora. Yeah, leave those likes. Leave those likes. It really helps, especially since I've turned off any ads. I won't be making any revenue from this, but if you can hit those likes, it helps the algorithm. I would appreciate that. Bond said, Patty, Max woke me up at 2 a.m. to go potty, but when we got outside, he tore off to my garden to dig up my potatoes. Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm going to have to do something, because I can see that he's going to be heading up the top of that bank, and he won't come down. If I don't get him trained, he will go up there. He'll sit and be like, yeah, 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 you can't get me, and I won't be able to get him. So yeah, I am going to have to get him trained and obedient soon, and I want to get him so he can get that good citizens badge. We'll see. We'll see. Sheila says that's correct about competition. It's like dog shows or horse shows. Yeah, yeah. It's like being in those equestrian shows. I mean, that's a lot. Are those dog? Yeah, no. lots and lots and lots of work and expensive. And yeah, I'd rather put my money into my tiny house community and other things right now. Um, Vaughn says, "Dig up, not dog up." I know what you meant, Vaughn. Hey, Carol Rivers. Hello, hello. Uh, Oh, Carol says, "Thank you all when you prayed for my thyroid growth procedure." So how did that go? How are things going with you, Carol? How is your health? Let us know. Give us an update. If you're comfortable. If you're not, that's fine. We respect your privacy. But if you want to share, let us know how things went. Um, hey, Cheryl says, "Lost your mind for a moment." I did. I absolutely lost my mind for a moment. If you don't mind me, Cheryl, do you mind me sharing? I don't think you will. That you were just at Ashland. Has anyone ever been to Ashland, Oregon? Oh my goodness. Cheryl was there, and I was telling her because she was in Oregon. I said, "Don't miss Ashland." It's one of my favorite little towns on the west. I mean, there are a lot of little towns that I just love, but Ashland is one of my favorite. It's a beautiful town. It's a college town. It has all these artsy places. It has a river that runs through it. Um, it's just a spectacular place to go and visit. I wish I could live there at least part of the year. It's just lovely, really lovely. And Cheryl, I'm so jealous. Cheryl was up there recently. Oh my goodness. Um, who else is in the house? Did I miss anyone else? I probably did. Hey Billy, hello, how are you? Hey, Miss Ned, another one of my great moderators. You're more than welcome, Carol Rivers. She's telling Carol. I think I missed someone I wanted to say something to, but maybe not. Maybe not. But I do want to talk briefly about Social Security. They're talking about, have you guys seen where they're talking about level? I don't really understand it. It was kind of complicated. I couldn't really get everything. But they're talking about apparently putting a cap on the cost of living that they give to Social Security recipients. And it looks like they're going to be people in the higher brackets who are getting more from Social Security will get less of a increase, and people at the bottom who get less Social Security will they'll get more relative to the cap. They won't go over the cap, but they will get more relative to the cap. Looks like I'm frozen up. Oh, okay, I was frozen up on my thing. I don't know if I was frozen up on you guys. But has anyone heard about that? How they're looking. Apparently, this was a proposal that was submitted back in 1987, and they said if that had been adopted back then, that it would have taken care of Social Security for 70 or 80 years, but they didn't. So they're looking at something that's very similar to it now. Have any of you heard about it? Can you enlighten us about it or share a little bit about it? But I just know they're looking at capping the cost of living, and they say that will shore up Social Security for another, I don't know, 30, 40 years or more, past when I'll be here, that's for sure. But let me know if there's anyone in here who um, can uh, speak to that or has more information about it. Cheryl says the training I sent is 100% online with 24/7 support. I don't want to do online training. I really don't. I mean, I might watch some, but that I don't want that to be my primary training. I want to be in person because right there, like the training that I'm in right now, well, actually, we're doing two trainings, you know. But the training that I'm in with many of you may know Kat. Remember Kat, the lady who was living in a trailer over a bridge in Oceanside, and she um, after her husband died, and she then got a um, low income or low cost housing in an apartment. And I showed you her beautiful apartment. It's a studio, but it's really, she has it fixed up so cute and lovely. Well, she raised golden retrievers, and she trained them both as agility dogs and just training. And so she is helping me with Mowgli, and she's the one that I was telling you that he, when I came back, he was minding her. Just she'd tell him one thing, and he would just immediately do it. I was just stunned. I was looking, at this the same dog? And then the other training is in and then she comes and shows me how to do it, you know, and she corrects me and shows me what to do and how to do it. And I really, I need hands on, not online. And the other training, he's with six, maybe five other dogs his age, and they're all so cute. Oh my gosh, they're cute. And it's helping him to socialize and to be around other dogs and not be aggressive around other dogs. So he really does need, he needs it, and I need it, in person training, Cheryl. Um, Kenneth says, one day you will look back at what you went through with your dog and it'll be worth it. That's what I'm hoping, Kenneth. When I saw what she did in just an hour, it really gave me hope. I was like, okay, I know I don't have the same skills. I don't know much about dogs as she does, but if he could respond and mind with just, but she says I have to get really, really firm. I'm not firm enough with him. So I'm going to have to get really firm with him and let him know really who's boss. But that's what I'm thinking, Kenneth. I'm thinking that, see, I guess I just lucked out. Cuddles, I didn't have to really do anything with Cuddles. Cuddles from day one wanted to please. And it's like, what do you want me to do, Mom? What do you want me to do? Okay, you want me to do this? Want me to sit down? You want me to stay here? No problem, Mom. No problem. But this little dog, I should have known, like in my introduction for this, I had him in the back of the minivan, one of the minivans, and he was so quiet. And I should have known, that should have tipped me off. And Jessica was in the front driver's seat, and she turned around. She goes, Mom, he's eating up the counter. I turn around. Sure enough, he's gnawing on the counter. And he had eaten up part of the counter. This counter where the sink is in the van. I was like, what the heck? I mean, I give him toys and stuff, but so everywhere I go now, I'm going to have to bring one of those. I don't want the bones that splinter. So now this is it's kind of gross. I'm just going to say it. But she said the most popular, I went to it's a horse and feed store where they have all stuff for horses and all this other stuff. And one of the most popular chews that they have, the two most, are pig ears, which, okay, pig ears. And the other one she calls, it's called pestle or pest something. And I said, I got this weird feeling. I said, is this the pee-pee part of the, she goes, yeah, it is. I was like, what the heck? But she said it's the most popular one that everyone buys for their dogs. I was like, I don't know if I can handle this. I don't know. Anyhow, maybe I'm just a little too squeamish. But but yeah, they had a lot of, because I told her I want something he can chew on, but I don't want it things that will splinter and may poke him on the inside. So she's saying the pig ear and the pestle, the pee. I'm gonna say pee. I'm not gonna say, anyhow. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm learning something every day on with this. Hey, Lindy's in the house. Hi, Lindy. Well, I'm going to have to give you a call because we I think we kind of decided that we're going to do get together in September, I think, but I'm going to confirm it with you. So we'll be looking if you want to come up and talk about it or ask for information or anything, let me know. I will I'll put a link. Ooh, hold on. I almost hit the leave studio. Oh my gosh. Uh, copy. Okay, I got it copied. Let's see. Uh, well, nope. Well, let me try it again. You guys know it takes me several times to get this right. All right. Well, I'll try it again later. I don't want to. I don't want to. You guys know every time I try and do this, I kick myself off. So I don't want to do that. But glad that you're in the house, Lindy. I've been meaning to go over to your lives because Lindy does lives every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern. So go over and check her out. I have missed hers the last couple. I have a friend. I'm not going to go into details for her privacy to protect it, but she's dealing with an issue. And one of the things that I have just reinforced to me this um, this week is just how much some people who work for the government lie to cover their hides when they do something wrong. Instead of just saying, yeah, I made a mistake, or no, that's not correct, they lie. And she's a senior. And the other thing that just was so blatantly clear is how disrespectful some of these so and so's are to seniors. I mean, it was just beyond disrespectful. Some of the things that they were saying and how they were treating her, like the one social worker um, had to give her some papers, and he walked over and he threw them at he just threw them at her on the threw. I mean, it was just so dismissive. I know that may not sound like a big deal, but you don't hand it to her, you don't put it down, you just toss them to her, and then like you're scum, and then walk away. And then when she handed him something, she had to give him. He just snatched it and stuffed it down, didn't look at it, didn't acknowledge. I mean, just such disdain and disrespect. It's been a long time since I've seen that kind of disrespect. And the other thing is thinking that you're so stupid that they can. Here's the thing: if you're gonna lie to me, at least give me the respect to come up with a lie that's halfway plausible. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't lie to me and tell me some off the wall stupid lie that a kindergartner is going to know is a lie. Because that tells me that you think I'm stupid. I mean, and this is the kind of lies that they were telling. And it was just and I'm sorry, but I had to tear a couple people new orifices because you know what? And the people who were doing this were significantly younger than the people they were disrespecting, the person they were disrespecting. And there's just something that just got to me about that. You're not only going to lie and do this and disrespect, but you're going to do it to someone who's older than you that you should be giving respect to, not treating like they're the dirt beneath your feet. I mean, have any of you found that the older that you get, the less respect some people show you, and they tend to think that you're dumb? Um, Anyone experience that in dealing with governmental agencies? Because this was just, it was off the chain ridiculous, you know? But anyhow, I want to make sure I'm saying hello to everyone. Carol says UCLA um, use radio frequency of, oh, to shrink it. Took me 9 years to get a solution that wasn't surgery. Wow, glory to God and hello all. So UCLA used frequency. Wow, I've never heard of that. That's fabulous. It didn't require surgery. You know, surgery has so many risks involved in it that they may mess up things, that you'll get an infection. People actually die in the hospital. The surgery could be successful, but they die from an infection, getting MRSA or that other one I can't remember. That's really starts with an S. But anyhow, but yeah, so if you can avoid having surgery and find another solution, well, that's great, Carol. Thank you for sharing that. That is so encouraging, and maybe someone out there needs to know about that, but it's at UCLA. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. Billy says, mine tells me I can do some things, but my body says no. Me too. Me too. My mind tells me to go do something. And because I was actually, I have to admit, I was thinking, because I've been wanting to learn how to surf for a long time, not to get good at it, just to be able to maybe catch a wave every once a month, be able to, out of 100 waves, maybe to catch one. And I was thinking, I wonder if Mowgli could surf. I know it sounds crazy, doesn't it? But, another one of these crazy ideas. But they have surfing contests for dogs here. So I was thinking, he's so energetic, and he's pretty brave. So I was thinking that would be kind of cool. But anyhow, another thing is frisbees. Like we have this thing. It has a tennis ball at each end and then a rope in between connecting them, a thick rope. And I took it, and he loves for me to throw that, and he gets it and brings it back. Well, I threw it up in the air, and usually I just toss it, but I threw it up in the air, and he went up really high, grabbed it, and came down. And I thought he could learn how to catch a frisbee. So that would be energy, consume some of his energy. But anyhow, but I know it's off topic. But thank you, Carol, for sharing that information about UCLA and the frequency ablation. I think that that's something that probably someone at some point in here will be able to put in their back pocket to use in the future. Uh, Sheila says, I can do anything that I choose to, even with the broken patella and broken foot. Well, that's a great attitude. That's a great attitude. I just have to be careful what I choose, that I don't choose something that is crazy. uh, Martin says, that's me at 74. Very frustrating. Yeah, it is. It is, isn't it, Marta? Rose Grace. Hi, Rose Grace says, yes, my mind says I can, and my body shows me I'm more tired. Yep. Cheryl says, absolutely. My mind, I am 30. My body reminds me of how off that is. That is so true. My mind tells me, oh, you're 30. You can do these things that you've always done or always wanted to do and never got around to. Now's the time. You have the time. Now's the time to do it. And my body is saying, have you lost your mind? The two are not copacetic with each other. You know what I mean? Muskegee Land says, yes, exactly. My mind is not 59. Oh my gosh. I wonder why that is. Is it just that we have a hard time accepting, because there are so many things we want to do and haven't done, and if we accept it, it means that maybe we'll never do some of those things. That's a hard thing to accept. It really is. uh Cheryl says, yeah, I think my mind tells me that I'm younger than I am, and then when I get ready, move my body, my body says, nope, you can't do that. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. Hey, Margaret, one of my members. Hello, hello. Yes, Carol, as you may know, I am 86. Wow. Old artist living with a 7-year-old dog. I camp and paint outside. You are an encouragement, Margaret. I'm telling you. 86. That means I can still be camping. Let's see. Well, my dog will be 13 by then. But I think we'll still be camping and outside. I would like to learn how to paint. That's something I've always wanted to do. I don't anticipate that I would be very, very good at it, because I can't even draw a stick man. but that is something I would like to do. So, so you're still camping. So, Margaret, have you found a lot of things that you find you're limited that you want to do? I'm not just things that you're limited, but things that are really meaningful to you. Have you found that to be the case? Or just some things that you can't do, but they're not that important? I'm gonna I'm gonna come on. I'm trying to I'm trying to get I'm trying to get people on that might want to talk about and say some things, but I'm having a problem. So I'll keep trying. Sometimes it takes me 4 or 5 times, but I usually am able to paste a link. But yeah, I would love to hear, Margaret, some things that what you do are still able to do, and if there's anything that you want to do, but you've been finding that you finally had to limit that. Sheila says in 16 months it's 16 months with the broken patella. And you're 83, Sheila. Yeah, so you're still and living in your vehicle at 83. Oh my goodness. No. No, you're not 83. You're 79. 79. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make you older than you are. 79. Oh my goodness. Marilyn says if you know anything on permanent disability, SSA, that would be fantastic. My body has been compounding symptoms. I only had relief in deep water. I'm going to tell you, my goddaughter was just diagnosed with a condition. I can't even remember the name of it. It's so out there. I can't even remember, but she has had such severe pain she can't even sometimes even pull up a blanket at night to cover herself. She cannot. It's like she can't. It's so severe. And what the doctor told her was that the best thing for that was a hot tub. A hot tub and being in a swimming pool. She said swimming and the heat from the hot tub. She said she went into a hot tub, but she's very sensitive. The chlorine really bothered her. But she said the hot tub, when she got out, she had no pain for a couple of hours. So the hot tub that's what the doctor told her. And I'm trying to think what else the doctor told her, that she had to continue walking and exercising, because if she did not, that it was going to get considerably worse faster. But I don't know anything about permanent disability, SSA, but you know what? I'll see about maybe finding someone who does and have them come on here and talk about permanent disability and what some of the um, requirements are and expectations are and what the criteria is for having permanent disability. I do believe that you have to have a doctor's or an evaluation. And I know people who've had to actually go to a physician that was appointed by Social Security to evaluate them. So I don't know whether that's everyone, but in that particular case for disability, they had to be evaluated by a um, a professional that was this was for mental health issues. They had to be evaluated by a psychologist or psychiatrist that Social Security sent them to, and Social Security paid for it. So, but I'm not an expert on that, Marilyn. But I would suggest there are experts out there, and you can consult with them. And there's a lot of information online, though. There's, for instance, let me just look this up right now while we're on here. Let's see, and it might vary a little bit. Hold on. What are some of the criteria for being eligible or being found eligible for permanent disability, SSA?
To be eligible for permanent disability benefits from the Social Security Administration, you need to meet 3 main requirements. These include having a serious medical issue expected to last for at least a year, earning less than the set amount for work.
Okay, here's what it says that the 3 criteria are. that you have to have a severe medical condition lasting 12 months, lasting more than 12 months. It has to be expected to last for at least 12 continuous months or have a diagnosis of death. Well, hopefully that's not your case, that, but it is something that would be lasting more than 12 months. It has to you have to be earning below the substantial gainful activity level. This says your health must severely limit your basic ability to do physical or mental work activities. So your health has to be such that it impacts you, that you are severely limited in what you can do work wise or in other activities. And your condition can automatically qualify if it matches an impairment that's listed in the SSA listings of impairments. So there is something called SSA listing of impairments. Let me go over there for a second. So if you have one of those impairments, okay, um, muscular skeletal disorders, special senses in speech, respiratory disorders, digestive, and it has all these congenital disorders that affect multiple body systems, neurological disorders, mental disorders, and I imagine under in each of those categories there are different things. So I would first look over at those categories, and then you can go on chat gbt. It's unbelievable how much information you can get. I would put in your condition and say, this is my condition. What are the qualifications or the limitations with this condition that would make me eligible for SSA? And then it can just narrow it down, narrow it down, narrow it down, such that you can look at that and see if you qualify. And if you do, it will give you the wording on how to word, the things that you say or the things that you write in describing it. Because sometimes people will have conditions, but they don't describe them accurately, or they don't describe them in a manner that Social Security recognizes, and they're disqualified not because they shouldn't qualify for it, but because they don't communicate it effectively. So I would encourage you, Marilyn, to do your homework, go online, find out what the SSA listing of impairments are, because again, your condition can automatically qualify if it matches an impairment in that list. So and also working and earnings rules. You cannot make more than the substantial gainful activity limit, which is $1,550 a month in 2024 and higher in subsequent years. So if you make more than 1,500, let me see what it is. Substantial gainful activity. What is the substantial gainful activity? Oh no. What is the substantial gainful earnings limit for SSA in 2026? Okay, so the substantial gainful activity earnings means work earnings for 2026, according to this, is you can't make more than $1,690 a month for non-blind individuals, or $2,830 a month for statutorily blind. So if you're legally blind, you can make up to $2,830 a month. If you're not legally blind, you can make up to 1,690. What they're saying is if you can work enough to make more than that, they don't think you're disabled. You're substantially disabled. So again, I would say educate yourself, get the facts, and I'll look around, see who I can get to maybe come on one of these lives, or I'll do a video about it, talking more about this, because a lot of my viewers actually either are on SSA or qualify for SSA. So that's a very relevant topic for me to be talking about on my channel. But yeah, I don't want to say things that I don't know. But again, $1,690 a month. Remember that. That's the limit. Kenneth says, in my mind, I can jump a 3 foot fence. At this age, I can jump a foot. Yeah, my mind, I see things and I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And then I get to it and I was like, what on earth was I thinking? Yep, I understand, Kenneth. Oh my goodness. Muskegee Land says, focus on your tiny house community. Yes, yes. And I want to know more about yours, Muskegee Land, because you told us last couple of weeks ago that you got yours going. If I'm not mistaken, I really want to hear more about that. I'm so excited about someone else doing this. Oh my goodness. Cheryl says, I'm now 77. It went by fast, didn't it? You know what, Cheryl? That is so true. It seems like just yesterday I was graduating from high school, you know? And now I'm pushing 75 pretty in a couple years or a year and a half. I'm like, where did all the time go? It just seems to have, and the older you get, it just flies by. I mean, it flies by. We're heading almost into Christmas again. I mean, can you believe this? Yeah, and here's the thing, as we get older, every minute is precious. And you know what? I don't want to let people steal my time from me on foolishness and things that are unproductive and make me unhappy. My time now is so much more valuable than it was in my 20s and 30s because it's so much more precious and there's so much less of it left that I don't want to give my time away to people who are going to who who don't value it as as precious as it is or don't see it as precious as it is. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm finding myself cutting people out of my life that I would have let stay as recent as maybe 10 years ago. What about you guys? Do you find that you don't have the tolerance to allow people to take up space in your life now that is so precious? I just no, I can't let everyone in anymore. But let me know what you guys think. Um, Sheila says, I'm, oh, 79. Okay. Oh my gosh. I said 77. First I said 83, then 77. Okay. 79. So you'll be 80 in March. Wow. I tell you, I'm meeting more and more older people all the time. Seems like many more than when I was younger. Uh, Caroline says, yes, my mind is definitely younger than my body. Well, I am so glad to know I'm not the only one. That is reassuring to know that there's not something wrong with me. Oh my goodness. Uh Muskegee says invest in your future. Yes. Even I don't care how old you are, still invest in your future. Absolutely, Muskegee land. Three Generations says, good work, Kenneth. Only a snake could make me jump a foot at my age. Oh my goodness. Billy says 74 now and they have went fast. Yes, they did. They did go fast. And they're it's like someone's spinning the wheel faster and faster and faster every year, isn't it? It really is. Uh oh, Margaret says yes to Ashland, Oregon. Oh yeah. That's where I would love to have a meetup in Ashland, Oregon. I just would love to do that one of these days. In fact, I'm going to put that on my to do list. Maybe one year to do a meetup. I'll have to go there and scout out places. There was a place that I did stay one year, and it was beautiful, and it has a lot of land. I don't know. The person was quite old that owned it, But if they're still there and still alive, maybe they would let us have a meetup there. It was a bed and breakfast, but it was on a lot of land, you know. But Ashland, Oregon, oh my gosh, I love Ashland. Uh, Cheryl says share about the SSA if I find out. Is that what you're talking about, Cheryl? Muskegee Land says sounds like Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Oh, I've never been to Eureka Springs. Oh my goodness. Sheila says sounds like LeGrand. It reminds me of kind of like Sausalito, but it's not on the, well, it is on a river, but it's not on the ocean. But have any of you been to Sausalito or to just different little cute towns? There's one, I was talking to a friend the other day. We went on a trip. We took a trip many years ago together, and we went to Niagara Falls. And one of the places that we went was a place called Niagara on the Lake. That's about 30 miles outside of Niagara Falls. And it just reminded me in some ways of, you go to a little cute, quaint town, and it's just everyone is kind of friendly and nice, and the vibe, just a great vibe. That's what I would say, a great vibe. And they have the Shakespeare Festival, which is some amazing plays, and they're not all Shakespeare. Some of them are, but a lot of them are not, and they're great, great actors. So a lot to do there. Okay, Jojo, hear about the properties you've been touring. I have looked at a few in San Marcos, which is a city in North County, San Diego. I've looked at a couple in Hemet, which is in Riverside County, but it's very, very hot there. A realtor just sent me some in a place called San Isidro and Paris in Riverside County, but I didn't like the one in Paris. I have been sent someone in Desert Hot Springs, but oh my gosh, it's so hot there. It's next to Palm Springs, and in the summer it can get 122. I really don't want somewhere that hot. And then, so I've just been looking. I've been looking quite around. And Sheila was telling me about LeGrand, Oregon, so I even looked at some places up there. Sheila, after she was telling me how beautiful it is and how what a quaint little town it is and how friendly people were. So I'm looking for somewhere that it has to be near a hospital, has to have shopping nearby, it has to have amenities that are close by because I anticipate a lot of people will be seniors and they can't be driving an hour to get, to get basic necessities or be an hour away from a hospital when you're a senior, that you need good medical care close. So so that's why San Marcos, but San Marcos in the last couple of years used to be cheap, dirt cheap. But now, just like almost everywhere else, it's gotten quite costly. And that's why I'm going to be talking to city officials and see what they have to say, you know. But Jackie says, I drive past Ashland, Oregon. I'm still in Oregon. Oh, stop by. When you drive by there, Jackie, go there and let me know what you think about it. Let me know. But Jojo, I will at some point take you guys out and show you some of the lots and some of the property that I'm looking at. I will definitely do that, Jojo. But I've been looking mostly, well, all in Southern California right now. No, that's not true because I haven't visited the specific sites in Arizona recently. A couple years back, when this wasn't as big a thought in my mind, I did, but I haven't recently visited in Arizona or Nevada. I've looked at New Mexico, but I don't really think I want to do New Mexico. So I would consider Arizona. Um, New Mexico, maybe in the mountains where, but I really would like Southern California where people could get to the beach in a reasonable amount of time, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, get to the beach if you want to, you know. So, and I know that's expensive. So that's why I'm looking at other options on how to finance it. I am going to put a substantial, or I'm willing to put, let me put it like that. I'm willing to put a substantial amount of my life savings into this to see that it happens. Um, but that wouldn't be enough still to do it. So I will need grants, and that's what I'm looking at is getting grants. Um, Kenneth said I can jump a foot. I was wrong. Ouch. Okay, Kenneth, we don't want you getting hurt on this live, okay? Just to prove a point. Cheryl says I'm ready to move to Ashland. Let me know, Cheryl. Hey, I love Ashland. I really do. It is it's just a beautiful spot. It's when I go there, my mind just feels like I'm connected to it, you know? Just the vibe is so great, you know? Have you ever been somewhere where you just feel like, you just positive vibes coming at you? That's how I feel when I'm in Ashland. Uh okay, Sheila, go and let me know what you think. Cheryl says, yes, the cola. Yeah, I don't really understand it, so I'm going to have to do some more research and studying so I can explain exactly what they're going to do. But what the one thing I do understand is that they're going to put a cap on it, but I don't really understand how the cap is going to work. And I understand it'll impact supposedly higher earners more than lower earners, but I don't understand it. But a lot of times that's what they say. Oh, it's not going to affect people who are poor and don't have a lot of money, and then it ends up that those are the very people that get shafted. So I don't know. I'm just telling you what they're saying, and we'll see how in actuality it turns out. Martin says, had to get 2 shots in my right lower back to keep, oh my goodness, sciatica pain away, so I can still work part-time as I needed the money. I am so sorry, Martin. Let's just say a word for Martin right now. Dear Lord, we just ask that you would help her to not have this pain and give the doctors the wisdom to be able to touch her and to give her the guidance and let her find treatment that will help her. And in fact, let her just bring in some additional income so she won't have to work so much and be able to relax more and enjoy life more. We just pray and thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, Marta, I'm just praying that you're going to be okay. And Vaughn says, Martin is sorry to hear that. Yeah, we are. We are. I hope that the shots at least helped Marta and reduced the pain. Cheryl says, with the cost of living nowadays, this will not matter. What will not matter? The cola? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Cheryl. But yeah, cost of living. I was just talking. I had to, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to share a little bit of personal stuff with you right now. I had 2 vehicles parked on the street in front of my house. In front of my house, not in front of someone else's house. Not 1 inch of those vehicles was parked in front of anyone else's property, only mine. And someone, I have a strong suspicion who, reported it as they're not moving within 72 hours. So the police came by and gave me a sticker, a yellow sign that you have to move it in 72 hours or you could be towed, blah, 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 blah. So I called the police and he says, we're not here trying to tow people and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, I don't want to be towed. I want to just make sure because I want to comply. I said, but it's in front of my own house. He said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's in front of your own house. If it's on a public street, which it is, it has to be moved every 72 hours. He said, what you can do, he said, it just has to be moved. He said, just, it has to be moved at least 1/10 of a mile. He said, so just drive around the block where you are and come back. He said, you can park in the same place. He said, but just drive around the block. So I said, well, how will they know if they come back that if I park in the same place that I moved and not tow me? He goes, well, and then I went out and looked, and sure enough, they had made a mark on my tire, and they had made a spot on the street. So I just make sure I don't park in exactly that same spot, and my tire is, I don't know. But So I said, if you just, he said, you can come back and park in the same spot. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just switch the cars. It's in front of my own house. I pay taxes on that street, or for that street. I mean, how many people are gonna park in front of my house? There's only like 5 houses on the whole block. You know, 4 on my side of the street. I mean, come on now. But I mean, sometimes it seems like the laws that they make are so arbitrary and just designed to make it inconvenient. But anyhow, so I had to. But here is the thing. I have to admit, um, because I hadn't driven them a while, the batteries had died. Oh gosh, and I have that little gulug thing, and I don't know what happened to it. I think it. I left my car unlocked, one car, and I think it got stolen when I was parked somewhere. Anyhow, that's a whole nother story. So I couldn't charge it. So, and then they were each due to be have their registration. So I went down and paid the registrations, and each of them needs smog. So I had to have one towed. The other one, he was able to charge it, the tow truck driver, and he followed me. So we both went in tandem to my mechanic, who's open today till 2, thanks goodness, and dropped both of them off so they can get smogged and the batteries and whatever. One of them, though, I think it's the alternator. That's why I hadn't been driving it, because it wouldn't hold a charge. Because the battery's good, so I think it's the alternator. But I mean, why would people? And the person that I'm pretty sure called, they don't even live on this block. Anyhow, some people have nothing better in life to do, you know. But but you know what? Sometimes things that seem like a big inconvenience actually are a blessing in disguise. I hate to even admit this, but I'm going to tell you guys. Don't tell anyone else, but I'll tell you. When I got my registration for a different vehicle, I don't know how I got confused. Old age, you name, I don't know. Somehow I put the little sticker, that has the year. I put it on the wrong vehicle. So in my mind, I got the registration for that vehicle. So all this time, I've been thinking that that vehicle is fine and it doesn't have to be renewed until August of this year. Well, it actually expired August of last year, and I had the sticker on it saying it was good till this year. So actually, they did me a favor. Well, I had to pay a huge fine, but they did me a favor, because had I driven that car and left it somewhere or been stopped in it and they ran it, they would have seen that it was an uh, registration that was expired for a year. I'm thinking it's fine, and they would have thought I was trying to scam or something, which I wasn't, and I probably would have got it towed or impounded. So kind of they did me a favor, because I was thinking I had another couple of weeks when actually it was expired last year. Don't ask me how I got this so screwed up, because I don't know. I really don't know. But anyhow, so that's what my morning yesterday all day was spent at one good thing is you can go down to, instead of going to DMV, which is like going to hell and back, but instead of going to DMV, you can go to AAA if you're a AAA member and do all your registration there, which I did. So that saved time, but I left something out that I needed or whatever, so I had to come back home and get it and drive back down to AAA. So between doing that, all the other stuff, all these little errands yesterday, and then getting cars towed and moved this morning, I've been a busy little bee. So, but yeah, I tell you, it's been quite an experience. So yeah, that's one of the things about getting older. You don't admit that sometimes you make these crazy moves that you don't even realize that you make. What can I say? Let's see. Martin is saying I get them every 4 months. I lost track. What do you get every 4 months, Martin? Oh, the shots. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Muskegee Land says reduction of Social Security benefits of 25% by 2030. Yeah, that's what they're saying if they don't make the corrections now. And that's one of the things why they're saying that they're going to do this thing with cost of living. But here's the thing, they have a better way to do it, and that is not cap Social Security contributions at 184,000. In other words, people who make over 184,000 a year don't have to contribute to Social Security on the rest of their earnings. If they just changed that and made them contribute, I mean, if you're making $2 million a year, you should be able to, or 300 or 400 or whatever, you should be able to afford to contribute on all of your earnings, right? I mean, if you're making $20,000 a year, you do. So why not at 200,000? I mean, it just seems that is fair. It seems like it's fair to make someone like that pay the full price than someone who's barely surviving and maybe not even surviving. But anyhow, they say that if they did that, it would immediately fix the problem, but they don't want to do that. So yeah, they're going to, I don't see them going to 2030 and reducing it by 25%, Muskegee Land, because you would have an absolute revolution in this country, because 40%, based on my research, 40% of seniors in this country are living off of, are, is either 40% of seniors or 40% of seniors who receive Social Security are living off only their Social Security. So if you come along and people who are barely making it, not making it, and you take off 25, I think it's actually 22%, or but 22, 25, whichever, if you take off anything from them, they're going under. So I don't, I really don't see that happening. I see something painful happening, but I don't see it being that. So we'll see how this new proposal goes. Rose Grace says, I remember her cat. Yes, yes, cat. Yeah, so she's, if you guys want, maybe I'll video her working. Well, I can't really be there because he doesn't mind. He gets too distracted if I'm around. So, hey, Jim. Hello, hello. From Birmingham, Alabama. Oh, my goodness. Hello, hello. Uh, Muskegee Land says the government is out of monies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, they're out of monies for things for poor people, but they're not out of monies for war. They're not out of monies for bullet trains. They're not out of money for some crazy, crazy, crazy things, but they're out of money for the people who need it the most. That's my opinion. But, Margaret says, you are doing the right thing with your training protocol. I had myself and my Cavalier King, oh, Spaniel, they're so adorable. Trained during the pandemic. My Ruthie is an angel now. Oh, that is, thank you for telling me that. That's so encouraging, Margaret. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everyone's saying hello. Hey, Queen 72, hello, hello. Sorry, I slid my finger over accidentally and kicked myself off. You know how I do, folks. Sorry about that. I'll keep my hands away from the keyboard. Um, Marta says, Maria, the shots last 4 months. Oh, thank goodness for that, Marta. Oh my goodness. Uh, yeah, it is. Isn't it amazing? Gary says they can tell you how to use your vehicles and where to park them on a public street in front of my house that my property tax pays taxes to maintain the streets and everything else, and my car registration pays for those. And yet, I'm not a happy camper about that, but what can you do? Everyone's saying they hope you feel better, Marta, and I'm joining that group that everyone's saying that. Um, Cheryl says, I do my registration online and they send it in the mail. Yeah, well, I've done that. Well, the problem is that my registration, as it turned out, was going to, one of them was already expired and I didn't know that. So I didn't want to wait 3 weeks for it to get in the mail and be towed. So my vehicle is now on private property at my mechanic shop. So when I pick it up, I can go directly, and he's going to smog it for me too. So once it's smogged, I can go back to um, AAA and get my sticker. So yeah, I didn't have the luxury of doing that because of my situation, Cheryl. Um, hey, Maribel, hello. Uh, Cheryl says I agree. Everyone to pay their fair share. Yep, absolutely. Hey, original Mama Grizzly, hello, hello. All right, well, folks, it is after. Oh my goodness, it's 4:20. I've just been running my mouth, haven't I? But I will see about trying to find an ex or finding an expert on social security disability who can come and maybe give some pointers. And if there are other topics, I would love for you all to let me know on these lives what topics you want to cover and what you want to talk about. And if there are interesting things going on in the news, you want to I don't want to get into debates and political things that people are going to be at each other's throats over it, because I don't want that kind of channel. But if there are things that we can discuss and not go everyone go crazy over, I would like to talk about those things, especially things that are impacting each and every one of us, like social security, and for those of us who are older, Medicare and stuff like that. I really would like to talk about some of those topics, And my thing is I want to bring value, even on a live while we're getting together, saying hi and catching up. I would like to, if we have information that can help people that are on these lives and who watch them later, I like to share that information. So if there's things that you'd like to talk about, or like me to do some effort to do some research on, I would be happy to do that. I love research. I was an investigator, so that was one of my things. Oh, sorry. What happened, Queen, was I slid my finger across. I don't know. I did something, kicked myself off. Um, Queen too. Well, yeah, it does seem like the government gives money to a lot of folks that have not paid into the system, but it also let's be honest, it gives a lot of money in tax breaks to people who are very very wealthy, and it taxes people who are not. It also, Social Security is a prime example, makes people who are making less pay their full bill for Social Security on every dime they earn, but people who are making millions don't have to do that. So I would say if they treated every single person fairly, people who are um, are less fortunate would be in a better situation. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Um, so Miss Net says maybe have a talk about ways to earn extra money. Okay, I would like to do that. I would like to do that. In fact, you know what? I am looking at. Oh, I don't have the time, but I got all this stuff. We love thrifting. I mean, we love thrifting. In fact, most of my stuff, except for what I buy at Ross or on discount, or even at Ross, I like to get discounts, but uh, are from thrift stores. Who's really good at finding good buys at thrift stores and clothes is Lulu. She is really good at that. But we love that, and I love finding good deals at thrift stores, and then I want to post them like on Poshmark or Facebook Marketplace and sell them. I think if you have a little bank, even $50, and you shop smart like garage sales, and you can get things like, I have a pair of boots, motorcycle boots, that I bought for $7.50. They're not my size, but they were originally marked $75. The store was going out of business, plus they had a sale, plus I'm senior, plus blah blah blah. Got them for $7.50, and I'm interested in seeing how much I can sell those boots for. So I'm gonna post them, and I'll let you guys know. And I'm maybe next week or the week after. Remind me. I will show you some items that I have gotten at really cheap prices that I'm gonna see about maybe reselling on Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to see how it works. That's one way to earn extra money, Miss Net, and I think it's a really good way. But we'll see. We'll see. Uh, Cheryl says, "Have you shopped on what whatnot? You can sell there and get everything at very inexpensive." I have not, but I'm open to looking at different things. Definitely. Um, Original Grizzly Mama Grizzly says, "I have so many business ideas." Well, I'd love to talk about them. Let's talk about them coming up. Marilyn says, "Yes, thrifting and possibly how to resell up in a flea market, but yard sales are no go." Yeah, I'm not in yard sales. And I was talking to someone who does yard sales, and she stopped. She said so many people come by and steal stuff, and it's hard, especially if you're the only one there to watch it. Yeah, it's very hard. Um, Lisa says the government is never out of money. Well, that's true, kind of, because they just print more. Um, Liza says, "Yeah, I love thrifting." Oh, good. We got a lot of thrifters in here. Original Mama says, "It's not what you earn, it's what you keep." Absolutely. Absolutely. And Liza says, "Frugal ideas." Okay. Okay. And I love the budget cooking videos. I know I keep saying I'm gonna do more of those, but I really do need to. Uh Side hustles. Yes, Liza. Yes. Sheila says, "I have to go. I'm at the library and they close at 5. Okay. Well, I've got to go too. So, yes, earning extra money. I agree with Miss Net, Liza said. Okay. Margaret says, "Homelessness. I'm really interested in helping and am currently doing my tiny part. I think your area has the highest rates." Yeah, I think we have very, very high rates because of the high rents. I was just talking to someone today about he's looking for an apartment, and he said the area he's looking at, one bedrooms are over 2,000. They're like $2,400. So yes, yes, there is a lot of homelessness here. Uh, who is this? I don't have my glasses on. Is this Lewis? Let's see. I think it's Louis. Uh, God is good all the time. Yes, absolutely. Original Mama Grizzly says the people at the top should actually pay, but dents, even with dims, they don't, despite what they say. Yeah, it's. Let me tell you something. If the truth were to be told, do you know how many people on both sides, Republicans and Democrats, go into office with some modest income or net worth and come out maybe 10 years later loaded? I mean, loaded, wealthy, because they get all of this insider information that they can then take advantage of and become wealthy. Then they have sit on boards and all this stuff. So you can't tell me. I think it takes a very special and rare person to go into politics. And even if they meant and wanted to do good when they went in, I think they're so seduced by the opportunities to become wealthy and powerful that unless they're just a very unique type of person, they're going to succumb to the temptation. But, what can we say? Thank you, Liza. Thank you. Just hit the, I'm heading out, but hit those thumbs up. And Original Mom says, "I've been praying about those and God is answering." Well, good, good, good. All right. All right. Cheryl says, "If full retirement age, no more disability, it is straight retirement from the." Yeah, yeah. Once at retirement age, it's I think it's no more disability is my understanding, but I'm not an expert, so I don't want to really speak on it because okay, yeah, Original Mama Grizzly, I agree. Let's talk about some good news about new business ideas. I love to do that. Okay. Did I see what you said about Social Security disability? I may have missed it because I kicked myself off. But I am going now. I have some things I have to get done this afternoon. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me and making my Saturday complete. My Saturdays just aren't complete if I don't spend at least part of it with you all. So thank you for that. You are my gift every Saturday, and I so appreciate it. And I will see you next Saturday, and maybe I'll figure this new Kenny or Kind Master out so I can get some start putting some videos back up. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Have a blessed, wonderful week, and stay cool because there are a lot of places this week that are going to hit record heat levels. So stay cool, stay safe, and stay hydrated. And I will see you next week. All right, I'm signing.